Hey, King Fight News, man. Eddie Hearn back on his bullshit. Here's what he had to say. If Anthony Joshua ever got in there with Deontay Wilder, and if he ever hurt him in that fight, it's all over. It's all Joshua by KO. That's what Eddie Hearn's saying. E-King Fight News, more on this guy. Alright, let's get it. E-King Fight News. And Eddie Hearn, okay, shout out to Ring TV. Here's the headline. If Anthony Joshua hurts Wilder, it'll be all over. That's it, folks. You know, did Anthony Joshua hurt Carlos Takam? He knocked him down early, if I'm not mistaken. Carlos Takam went damn near another fucking 6-7 rounds until it was stopped prematurely. And Eddie Hearn's out here saying it would be all over. Man, you know whose defense is highly underrated? Deontay Wilder's. You want to know how I know his defense is underrated? I'll tell you why. Luis Ortiz starched him with, I believe it was a straight left hand in that fight. He landed multiple shots towards the end of round 7. And in round 8, he came out there and he won that round 8. But he did not land as significantly in the second half of that round as he did in the 7th round, right? In the 7th round, he pulled off a 10-8 round by the way he finished it. But he couldn't repeat those results in any of the following rounds. The fight went 3 more rounds and it was actually Ortiz on the ground. It wasn't Deontay Wilder. So that tells me that Deontay Wilder, yes, he got hurt, but he was able to adjust to the punishment he was taking. He also got hurt against Carlos Molina somehow. Yeah, he got stunned in that fight. It's not like he got dropped. In fact, Deontay Wilder, has he ever been dropped? So that would be quite an accomplishment if Joshua were to be able to drop Deontay Wilder. I think that would definitely put a little bit more pressure on Wilder in that scenario because he's never been dropped. But I absolutely know for a fact that Deontay Wilder's straight right hand would put Joshua down and maybe even out. Because there's a very good chance that if Klitschko can knock down Anthony Joshua, I truly believe Deontay Wilder is a much more devastating puncher than a Vladimir Klitschko. He might not be technically as sound, but punch for punch, Deontay Wilder is one of the hardest. I'll say it flat out. He is the hardest hitting heavyweight. He's the hardest hitting puncher in boxing, period. Who hits harder than Deontay Wilder? Who knocks out 39 opponents in 40 fights? You know, that's an unbelievable knockout ratio. Unbelievable. And I think it's the highest in history. It's the highest in boxing history. And how many people bring this up? You know? How was the last time HBO brought that shit up? They got it confused with Gennady Golovkin. God damn. And Golovkin just went the distance with fucking Daniel Jacobs and got a draw with Canelo Alvarez. They still want to bring up his, what knockout power he's got. When the real beast is right there in front of you. Anyways, here's the quote from Eddie Hearn. Let's get it. He didn't want to watch Wilder fight. According to Eddie Hearn, he's probably talking about Anthony Joshua. But Eddie Hearn noted that, this is the first time Wilder really got cracked on the chin. And back when he was a younger fighter, Deontay Wilder, he sparred in the UK. He was hurt multiple times in the gym. And because of that, people were saying Wilder has no chin. Well, guess what? Eddie Hearn agrees that, Deontay Wilder proved that notion to be wrong. But this is the difference, according to Eddie Hearn. The difference is you're not talking about old man and Anthony Joshua. You're talking about someone who, when you're hurt, he's gonna pounce on you, and you're gonna get hit by all these shots you don't even see coming. So that's the difference, and it'll be all over. But it's a brilliant fight. You might have to watch through your fingers because Joshua is completely fearless. And I think he's more fearless than Wilder, but Wilder does have that element in him as well. So it's going to be incredible. You know what I hate about fucking Eddie Hearn? Whenever he talks about Joshua Wilder, he talks about it as if it's happening, yet he never acknowledges when it's going to happen. When can we anticipate this highly hyped matchup between two of the best heavyweights in the world? He talks about it as if it's going to happen, but he never acknowledges Wilder as the next fight. He never does. And he said on multiple occasions, I'm going to put this shit out there because it's so blatant. He said multiple occasions, this fight will happen in 2018. Yet nothing is fucking scheduled. Man, Eddie Hearn needs to get his act straight, man. Who is it going to be after Parker? Assuming he beats Parker. Like I said, Parker is a legitimate threat. And he could it's definitely possible he can lose to Parker. It's definitely possible. Would it be shocking? I think it would be. I think it would be very shocking if he lost to Parker. But it's not out of the realm of possibility. So, we're going to be here. We're going to wait and see. You know what? People have been mentioning the fact that, Eddie Hearn was furious with the news that Deontay Wilder would not be attending the fight, that he won't be in the building. He sort of declined to work with Sky Sports apparently, and that was put out there by PBC. So Premier Boxing Champions put something out there regarding Deontay Wilder's participation in Joshua Parker, that whole situation. And apparently Eddie Hearn was fucking pissed. Because his fucking plan to have Dillian White just show up out of nowhere and call him out just backfired. That shit, very... You know what? I personally hope Deontay Wilder will still be there. And he'll have one up on Eddie Hearn just to fucking trick him. And he could just be one of these fucking fans that just show up. He could just wear a mask and shit and just have his entourage just cover him up. It's possible he can get into the building and just disguise himself and just be in the crowd. And, somehow, if he can get security clearance, somehow, it's not out of the question he could still be there, when the fight goes down. But, that's me going into sports entertainment world because, right now, it's likely that Deontay Wilder will be sitting back at home watching Joshua Parker from his, comfortable environment, right? So I think that's a situation where, Eddie Hearn is obviously, setting up a situation where he wants to have a confrontation, not with Joshua, but with Dillian White. And I think Team Wilder really saw through that. I think Eddie Hearn made it blatantly obvious that was going to happen. And, Anthony Joshua didn't make matters any better by saying he doesn't want to do a face-off with Deontay Wilder. So all things considered, it was a dumb move on Eddie Hearn's part by just being so blatant with his plans. And it was silly of Anthony Joshua to bring that up. If they just kept their mouths shut, Deontay Wilder would probably be working with Sky Sports. Right? That's just my take. What other news? There was a press conference today for Parker Joshua. There was a pretty intense face-off. I was I was impressed by how composed Parker was. He seems ready for the moment. You know, as much as Joshua wants to say his big-time experience is a key to the fight, I think Parker isn't fazed at all by Anthony Joshua, and I think he kind of sees through him, which is where you want to be. You know, you don't want to be in awe of the moment. You have to be ready to fucking walk right through the fire. And I hope Joseph Parker has that state of mind in him, or else it's not going to end well. But just overall, I think Parker's going to really give a good fight. I don't think it's a mismatch at all. I don't think Anthony Joshua, you know, he's a huge favorite, Anthony Joshua, and he might do well early in the rounds. I think by the time the first round ends, he might stun Parker because it's the first round, and you know, I think a lot of people will think, oh wow, Anthony Joshua, he's gonna get him right now, and I think you're gonna see Parker sort of compose himself, and I think he's gonna stretch out the fight to a much longer distance than a lot of people think. This might go to 12 rounds. I actually believe that there's a very good chance this goes 12 rounds. So, King Fight News, let me know what you guys think. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Y'all know what it is.